All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. We are back with another round 2 matchup between Beeps, aka Blue Plasma Spark, and saetzero, aka Iora. I am Sloters27. I'm going to be your commentary. Mike gets some Hockey Towner commentary too. He's busy with another match at the moment. Anyways, I think the runners are ready to start, so I'm gonna get them going here. Maybe they're not super ready. Beep's still practicing a little bit. All right, looks like I got both of them ready in the SRL room. They should be starting shortly. So let's talk about GT Classic real quick. I believe we have a command in chat that can give more details, but just as the race is going to start, I'll kind of go through it pretty thoroughly here. So the goal of GT Classic is to utilize the developer code that we've called the GT code in order to complete the game quickly. Now what this means is there's what we believe to be is a debug developer code placed in the game that you can activate by entering the Golden Chorizo boss fight room while holding some very specific buttons, being the A, B, X, Y face buttons, and nothing else during this door transition. And what happens when you do this is the game automatically gives you 7 E-tanks, 100 missiles, 20 super missiles, 20 power bombs, and basically every one of Samus's upgrades except Screw Attack. But that item is also right next to the room anyways. So essentially, they're gonna try to get to the Golden Chorizo's room as fast as possible, input the code, and then from there on out, it's pretty much a boss rush with all of the items in the game. Just to the race. So like every other Super Metroid category, the first thing here is going to be a trip to Ceres Station. After damaging themselves 5 times off of Ridley's tail, that'll put them in critical health, which will trigger this next cutscene and the explosion sequence will start. Coming back through these rooms is going to be a bit trickier now. There's going to be some steam popping up in the rooms and some tiles falling from one of the other rooms. And even the last room starts shaking, so there's a bit of an RNG component here in terms of how the steam comes up and how the tiles drop, so a little bit of adaptation on the fly in order to get out of here quickly. And it looks like both of them having a little bit of trouble in the last room. But saetzero actually, the first one up on screen, remains to be seen once the timers are a little more synced, but both of them roughly getting off Ceres at the same time. So we'll see saetzero now come up to Zebus It's going to be the same thing we see in every other category. They're first going to head down to Blue Brinstar, and they'll pick up their morphing ball in first missile pack before coming back up. We'll see which of the runners are going to be using Moonwalk. By having Moonwalk enabled and moonwalking off of ledges, you can gain a massive amount of fall speed, and I don't know why I'm talking about this because neither of them utilize the moonfall glitch, so yeah, good to see that. This room here, the pit room, both of them just went through. Very difficult. You have to do some well-timed jumps to not fall into the pits, as saetzero did. But both of them still get through without much trouble. And there's that morphing ball. Morphing ball is going to allow them to morph into a ball and go into small passages like the one they just went through. And they will use it again to pick up their first missile pack past this blue door. So with this missile pack, this triggers the awakened state of the planet. So now as they head back through some of these previous rooms, you're going to start noticing enemies popping up, which makes the traversal through them a little bit trickier. So you can see the heads and the rocks that are turning towards Samus, indicating that the space pirates know she is there. And here's the first set of enemies we're going to observe. Some space pirates back in the pit room. Beep's doing a great job deboosting off of one of their attacks and then doing some gap skips across the rest of the platforms. Now coming up to the climb. Looks like both runners are going to be wall jumping up the right side. Actually, saetzero sort of doing a little bit of wall jumping and ledge grabbing on the platforms, kind of a hybrid between the two main strategies. That's interesting. But nevertheless, Beeps is the first one up. Also coming through the parlor, a lot of wall jumps, a lot of ledge grabs. Really, a lot of these early rooms are kind of difficult as far as optimizing them and getting really good times in the rooms. But with our newly acquired missiles, the runners can go through this red-pink door and pick up the bombs upgrade. Picking up the bombs here also triggers the Bomb Torizo mini-boss fight. To fight BT, what they're going to want to do is land 5 of their pea-shooter shots and then do the rest of the damage with the missiles. So these little orbs that BT shoots off, you can farm missiles off them, and if you get lucky, you get a pretty fast fight, like Beeps just did. saetzero is going to have to farm another round and quite grab the missiles in the best way to get the one round. Unfortunately, not getting much love on the drops. Nice Alcatraz from Beeps, using wall jumps and do a quick morph. Come back the way he came up there, rather than using the bombs to bomb off the blocks on the right side of that area. And it looks like saetzero is going to be doing the same thing. So you might be noticing Beeps is missiling the space pirates here rather than running through them. Usually it's faster to run through them, but conserving health at this stage of the run is pretty important, since they're going to need to go up Red Tower to get an early power bomb pack, and they don't want to bump themselves down into health bomb range by the time they get to Kraid. So you'll see later on they'll be taking a bit more damage than usual. And it's just worth not running into the pirates there. saetzero actually running through the pirates, doing what I said you shouldn't do. But that can be easily alleviated too by doing some farming later. And very nice mock ball from Beeps, sliding under those falling gates, getting the early super missile pack. Normally speed booster is required to grab these, but with that neat little trick, we can get there without speed booster. saetzero also having a nice mock ball. And ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm joined by the one and only, the Hockey Towner. How are you doing, Hockey?
I'm doing pretty great. Sloters just got done with the Nintoaster Megu match, any percent all bosses. So thank you so much for inviting me on to share the booth with you.
Oh, absolutely. I've been looking forward to sitting in the booth with you on one of these.
Right on, right on. So catch me up to speed here. Looks like we've got Beeps versus Iora in GT Classic.
That's right. So I sort of explained what GT Classic is already. There's also the exclamation point GT Classic command, I believe, if you want some more details. But essentially what they're doing now is picking up the items they need in order to get the various suit and get to Golden Chorizo in order to input that code, and we can really see the fun begin at that point.
Well, GT Classic, while a shorter Super Metroid category, is certainly a very exciting one.
Yeah, in a way, it's sort of like low percent at the start where you're kind of picking up the bare minimum stuff just to get to GT, and then it kind of turns into like boss rush hundo with all the items you get, and you see a lot of really cool movement strats with all that equipment.
Oh, for sure. That's a very clever way of putting it, Sloters. I hadn't thought of it that way. It kind of begins like low percent, but then, like you said, the boss rush, once you've defeated Kraid and defeated the true bosses of GT Classic, which I would say are the Lava Dive and the Green Gate Glitch.
I really like what saetzero is doing here. He's choosing to go up and super that Ripper at the top. So when he goes to try to do this tricky wall jump to get up above Red Tower, he doesn't have that Ripper in his way, so he can sort of take his time with it, rather than trying to wall jump around it like Beeps did.
It always amazes me how different runners have developed different strategies, different comfort levels with certain movement techniques. And like you said, Sloters, that's a terrific way of making what is a very challenging part of this run just that much easier.
And Beep skipped the charge beam earlier, but saetzero actually grabbed it, and he's going to be using it to make the Kraid quick kill a little bit easier too, but we can talk about that when we get there. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of safeties you can pick up in this, including, the charge beam, like I just said, grabbing more E-tanks for the Lava Dive, or even getting an extra super missile pack for the Green Gate glitch. So a lot of options in this one.
All right, looks like we've lost Beeps' game feed. We'll see if we can get out and push, or maybe have to call a tow truck.
He could just be a gentleman and waiting for saetzero to catch up a little bit. I wouldn't hold that past Beeps.
That's an excellent point.
And if so, I want to know how he's floating in the air like that. That seems like pretty cool tech. Oh, and we're in the Kraid fight now.
Excellent. Beep setting up for that Kraid quick kill.
Yeah, it looks like he actually got shorted a missile somewhere, so very nice adaptation to that. Without using charge beam to freeze Kraid's arm, shooting 4 super missiles like that can be a little tricky, but he nails it regardless. Oh, and see, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. saetzero used up a lot of health running to the pirates and up at Red Tower, but choosing to take the Red Tower energy refill to avoid going down to that health bomb range as he approaches Kraid. Another nice safety to take.
That's interesting, Sloters. I heard you refer to it as the Red Tower energy refill. I don't think I've ever heard it called that before.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an older name. I think it's picked up some nicknames over the past couple of years, but that's sort of how I remember that one.
Completely understandable. So nice little high five here from Beeps and saetzero here.
Yeah, one going in with the power suit, the other one coming out with Kraid's prize, the Various suit, which is going to give them some heat protection in the upcoming heated rooms and make the lava dive a lot more doable. Oh no, and saetzero running out of ammo coming up to Mini Kraid and has to finish them off with charge shots. Those don't do a lot of damage to Mini Kraid, so it actually takes quite a number of shots, but it gets through. And as I mentioned, since he has the charge beam, he can actually use it during this quick kill. By shooting Kraid with a charge shot, it'll actually freeze his arm in place, so you don't have to time your shots around his arm flailing up and down right at that perfect part of his opening up animation to pump them all in there. Very nice.
Well executed. Nice job. Beeps those into Cathedral here in Norfair, not taking any heat damage thanks to that Varius suit, as you pointed out. But looks like saetzero got a Varius suit of his own.
Now I think Beefs probably won't save here, but this is oh, okay, he is gonna save. This is a very respectable place to save, the lava dive. While he has an extra E-tank for it, if you make a mistake or two, it can be very costly and you can die down there, so pretty heads-up play from Beeps. I'm sure we'll see the same thing from saetzero.
Looks like
And another nice safety, only having one super missile goes to the farming station to fill her up to max.
now Slaughter's both actually, no, only saetzero elected to get the janitor's closet E-tank here in Kraid's warehouse. Beeps just got the high jump one, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So that might come into play here during this lava dive. We'll see.
So Beep's going for the fast entrance to the lava dive, jumping through the door. Gets a nice bounce. That'll conserve some energy for him. Now he's going to do some careful wall jumps around these Namahes and their fireballs. Oh no. And he slips on the last wall jump. Has enough health to go up for one more attempt. Oh no.
Oh,
Break
Beeps!
spin.
But he's got that safety save.
Already paying off for him.
But a great opportunity here from saetzero to catch up a little bit. He's really not that far behind.
No, really just a few rooms now.
I'm just always impressed by Super Metroid speedrunners, but that lava dive is such a challenging piece of movement technique.
Yeah, the lava physics without a suit are kind of weird, so wall jumping there is kind of like, it's not normal, it's not like doing it underwater, but it's like something in between water and normal wall jumps, so it's definitely an impressive trick.
All right, looks like Beeps has dusted himself off. He's going to try again here. If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Another nice entrance, another nice bounce. Oh no, he misses the top wall jump, still has another go at it. And he gets up there.
Well done, Beeps.
Now he will presumably take another safety save as we're coming up to the green gate glitch, which to say it's a finicky trick is probably to say the least.
So looks like saetzero has now made it to the lower Norfair entrance. Going to try that lava dive trick himself.
When Beeps gets it on the last soup.
Oh, Beeps with the clutchness. Are you kidding me? saetzero, though, going for those wall jumps. Oh, the lava dive is so tricky. It's got enough energy to try again, though. Oh, no! But don't worry, folks. saetzero's got a safety save.
Yeah, while saetzero was doing that attempt, Beeps into the golden chorizo room, enters the code, pauses his game to take off Spacer so he doesn't crash the game with the full beam combo, and takes out GT rather quickly with that full beam. Very powerful against that boss. And like I said, from here on out, it's basically a boss rush to Ridley, Dragon, Phantoon, and then the end of the game.
All right, saetzero going to give it another shot. Meanwhile, Beeps likely heading down to fight Ridley.
Oh no, saetzero jumping into a fireball. Fortunately takes another death. Alright, Beep's coming up to the Ninja Pirates. Let's see how he handles this room. So he's gonna take them out one by one. Oh, he's actually gonna use X-Ray to, I didn't think we were gonna talk about, microwaving yet, but, there's a little trick you can do with the plasma beam where, if a beam is over an enemy and you trigger the X-Ray, it can actually hit them multiple times, sort of similar to some, like, pausing glitch you can do in Mega Man to keep hitting, an enemy with your beam over and over again. But we'll see some more of that later against Dragon and Phantoon.
It's so interesting because with that GT code, Sloters, X-Ray doesn't show up on the HUD, but you still have it.
That is correct. For some reason, they don't actually show up unless you physically pick up the items, or if you, have them like this and then save and reset. So you will not see those icons, most likely, during this run.
So Beep's playing a little game of chicken with Ridley, dodging his swoops very carefully. saetzero going to set up for another attempt at this lava dive.
Yeah, which is ironic because Ridley's a pelican and not a chicken.
Alright, so a pelican fight, Sloters, if it'll make you happy.
Nevertheless, pretty quick fight for him. Only 20 charge shots with that beam combo, so in and out of there. Moving on to the next one.
The boss rush continues.
We'll see saetzero give another attempt at the old lava dive. Looked like he was going for fast entrance maybe, but didn't do the bounce. Oh, hits the spike there. He's just gonna die real quick and get another attempt. Start fresh. Beep's just shredding through the lower north air enemies with that screw attack. Such a comfy item during this part of the game. So Beep's out of lower north air now. Meridia's going to be his next destination. As I mentioned, we're going to see some of that cool microwave strats on both the bosses there, actually. They're susceptible to that. So that'll be exciting.
I really
Oh,
sorry about that, Sloters. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Nope. I was gonna say like okay, saetzero fortunately didn't make that lava dive attempt. He'll have another go at it.
What I was going to say was, for saetzero, I really admire this commitment. I really admire the dedication to this trick. It's a very punishing category, despite being one of the shorter ones. But and with like what we said, lava dive being such a tricky and tough technique to execute, but really got to give it up for saetzero here. Committed to completing this run, so it's really cool.
Absolutely, it's not really, you know, something you would use in the traditional speedruns, like 90%, 100%. So it's not something really everyone has in their wheelhouse, so to speak. But it's awesome that we have a lot of people, you know, new to these categories and trying out all these cool tricks.
Absolutely, that is a huge benefit of something like a multi-category tournament with rotating categories each week. A lot of variety, and it kind of forces runners outside of their comfort zone, so to speak.
Oh, saetzero right at the top, but misses the last wall jump. Oh, and Beep's doing the microwave strats. So as his charge full beam combo with that plasma beam is over Batoon, as he turns the X-ray on and off, he freezes the beam in the air, but Batoon's iframes still run out, so you end up hitting him multiple times, thanks to plasma beam allowing the beam not to dissipate upon its first hit. And he stopped running midway through those speed blocks for some reason, and had to go back and run again. Fortunately, even though he missed the full halfie, having space jump here when you're not supposed to have it normally still makes this room pretty quick. So we'll get to see that microwave trick one more time, but not the last time in this run against Dragon.
I was going to say, against Batoon, we got to see it for the first time, but not the last time. But he did use it against the Metal Pirates, right, Sloters?
Yeah, he did, which you normally don't see because the beam by itself there is pretty strong, but I think he's showing off the tech a little bit. Yeah, you can see it just decimates a lot of these bosses.
Beats a little bit of swag there. I like that D boost off the top corner of the room. So saetzero just gonna do a quick farm up here. Beep's flying back through Batoon's room.
Ooh, that was a really nice space jump into Spring Ball into the next room. Very clean.
That's what we like to see. saetzero has completed his lava dive. Very nicely done. And a quick save here outside Lower Norfair's elevator. Beeps those already done with Meridia heading up to Wreck Ship for the last boss of the game. Well, till Mother Brain, of course. saetzero setting up for Green Gate glitch here. Oh, but runs out of supers.
Yeah,
That's all right.
unfortunately, only get 5 tries max unless you pick up some more supers, and like I said, really finicky trick.
Is there such a thing as a consistent setup sloters for the Green Gate glitch?
No, not really. There's some people think it's a little easier to run into it rather than stand still and then jump into it. But it's still kind of a coin toss if you're going to get it once you kind of understand how it works.
Right on, right on. Beep's going to open up against Fantoon here, the last of the microwavable bosses, I would think.
Yeah, Fantoon's a little different because you need to land some regular missiles before you do the microwave, otherwise he'll just disappear on you after the first hit. So that's why you see him doing some regular missiles beforehand. There we go.
And saetzero through. He's heading in, going to activate that GT code. Very nicely done.
Oh, and saetzero. Didn't even see. He got through now. Entered his GT code successfully. He's got the full loadout minus screw attack. Doing the old left side GT. Oh, and that one attack we don't get to see very often. Now he'll pick up his screw attack, and he is also in boss rush mode.
Looks like Beep sparked across the West Ocean, so he'll be heading straight back through Criteria to G4. Meanwhile, saetzero's got a bit of a slog ahead of him. He's got to take out Ridley first.
Yeah, sparking's a pretty easy way to get across the West Ocean like that, but I'm kind of concerned about Beep's health. I mean, I don't think he's gonna die, but might be hard to refill all the way and be able to do the stand-up later on against Mother Brain 2. But we'll see.
Well, that's right, because the runners have 7 E-tanks from the GT code, then stand-up is definitely on the table.
Yeah, I mean, he does have reserves he can use, but it'll take some time going in the pause menu to use them.
So G4 statue just lowering itself for Beeps. Meanwhile, saetzero's into... the room with the Tuskegee. What is that? Wasteland?
That's right, Wasteland.
Thanks, Sloters. I had a little bit of a mental lapse there, but saetzero's in against these metal pirates, going with the traditional plasma beam shots. Beepsto's going to have to contend with an infestation of Metroids.
Can't believe it took us 34 minutes to find our first Metroid in this game. I feel a little ripped off.
With a name like Super Metroid, you'd think that they'd be everywhere, right?
Yeah, heckin' Nintendo. What the heck?
And such a stark contrast to something like Metroid 2, where the first 5 minutes of the game you've got to fight a Metroid.
Yep.
I, for one, feel cheated. It sounds like you do too, Sloters.
Absolutely.
But you know who's getting cheated right now is Ridley. Just, had this cozy little spot with a nice acid bath in the bottom, holding a baby Metroid hostage, and Samus Aran comes knocking on his door and starts pelting him with plasma shots.
Yeah, he's just flabbergasted how she has all this equipment already. I mean, the other space pirates aren't even dead except Kraid. He feels a little gypped.
Really nice fight from saetzero, finishing off Ridley with a absolute fusillade of super missiles.
Says he doesn't get paid enough for this. Oh, Beep's getting grabbed by the baby Metroid. Fortunately, gonna have to go. Well, he doesn't have to take a refill. He could Crystal Flash himself back up to full health, but we don't see that all the time. It's a lot safer just to go refill at the energy refill station.
This might be a little late, Sloters, but you mentioned about Ridley, he doesn't get paid enough. He's probably thinking, I'm all for leading the space pirates, but this is ridiculous.
I could hear him screeching it now.
So it looks like Beep's elected to do the refill as his power bombs are still full. Meanwhile, saetzero beginning his lower Norfair escape. Making his way up through Wasteland. I cannot believe I forgot the name of that room.
Beeps with a nice Ice Beam Zeb skip. Skipping past that first one without destroying it causes all the other ones to not spawn. You can just stroll up to Mother Brain 1, dump all those missiles and super missiles, and move on to Mother Brain 2. So, same deal as Ridley here. It's going to be 20 charge shots with this beam combination. After Mother Brain is at 20, Beeps is going to want to use his reserves to top himself off to 700 energy. That's going to allow him to use the stand-up glitch, which will let him damage Mother Brain 3, I should say, before the fight even begins. And if he does it right, he can only require one shot of the Hyper Beam to finish her off. So you can see he refills there. Now once Mother Brain hits him with the Rainbow Beam, since he took off Various Suit, it'll take him down to 100 energy, and he actually doesn't have to do anything here. If you have over 100, you need to damage yourself down to 100 or less, but since he's already at 100, he can just wait. He'll have to be careful that he stays in the air as the baby Metroid comes back on screen, otherwise he'll get trapped in the floor. And now he's just going to wait a bit until he can start shooting, and he'll start damaging Mother Brain 3 in this cutscene. So we're coming up to that moment right about here, right when she kind of stops changing color is when you want to start shooting. Again, when the baby detaches, you can get locked into the floor, but Beeps was in the air when this happened, so he avoids it. And now this is the really scary part, is once your health gets completely refilled, the baby will actually start detaching from you, and if Mother Brain does not damage the baby while it's detached, it'll stay where it's at. So you get into a situation where the baby's either like at where her kneecap is right now, or in the top right corner, where Mother Brain actually can't hit the baby, and that is going to be a soft lock every single time that happens. So Beeps was very smart in sort of keeping the baby in a position where that wouldn't happen. You can already see the color change on Mother Brain 3. Shouldn't need too many Hyper Beam shots, those maybe 3 or 4. And Beeps is one escape sequence from taking this one away.
saetzero is in the Meridian now, about to head to Batwoon. Did have reserves, but used them after exiting Lower Norfair. Things got a little dicey with those 3 Musketeers, but definitely back on track now. About to go microwave some water sausage. I don't know if you've ever sampled such a delicacy, Sloaters.
I don't think you can get that around the place where I live. That sounds like a true delicacy, though. Yeah, once again, he's going to be utilizing that microwave strat. He's going to say, "Die, monster. You don't belong in this world."
Well spoken, Sloaters.
Beeps with a nice spark up the old climb. Last time we'll see that room from him. Just a few more wall jumps up the parlor and some running across the landing site. Oh no. Oh no, I forgot Beeps did this. Oh no.
Oh gosh. Beeps with the tech. He's gonna save the animals. The canonical ending wins.
I appreciate the nod to fusion, but this just makes me uncomfortable.
saetzero, meanwhile, about to head up against Dragon.
And Beeps shamefully finishes in first place with a time of 42 minutes and 10 seconds. Good game to Beeps, even though he saved the animals. Very nice performance. Only one reset at the lava dive, not even the green gate glitch. So nice run.
saetzero with a really tidy Dragon fight again, showcasing that microwave beam strat. Very nicely done, and no need to pick up Space Jump. He's already got it thanks to that GT code.
And it looks like we are joined by our winner, Beeps, aka Blue Plasma Spark. Beeps, good game, and congrats on the win.
Thank you, Floaters.
Yo, GG Beeps, congrats on the W.
Thank you, Hockey.
So tell us how you're feeling about the run.
Well, I'm really the biggest thing that happened is just dying to lava dive, and that's kind of unfortunate because I feel like this could have been a pretty good run other than that. Like, I don't know how much time I lost, but it could have been a PB. I don't know. I don't remember what my PB is for this, so... I have the SpeedGaming chat open. I don't have the stream, so... What's saetzero doing right now?
saetzero, he had a little bit of trouble with the lava dive, but he got through eventually, and now he just finished off Dragon is heading straight to G4, right? No more bosses.
You sure about Fantoon?
Oh no.
Fan who?
Oh my goodness, the self meme.
I'm not sure if you're serious or joking about that.
But speaking of memes, Beeps, I really admired your Ninja Pirate strat. You don't see that one too often in this category.
I started doing it in the rando tournament back when, and then it just kind of caught on. I didn't ever see anyone do it before I started doing it. I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah. It's a pretty fun thing to do, just because you have X-ray. Why not? I mean, it's slower, but oh well. I'll take it.
Have X-ray, why not?
I love X-ray. Okay, I got to use it as much as I can.
I can respect that. Oh, it's saetzero
here with a
smoke
spark.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Choice.
I like it. I'm all for unleashing fast loaders. You know, I'm a big proponent of fast unleashing.
Oh, I've heard the way you talk about it. I know.
I'm sorry for you and anyone else who has, but that's just the way things go. It turns out there is no... You don't have to provide a resume or any character references to be a Super Metroid tournament commentator, so... Go figure.
Man, no wonder they let me commentate then. Also, I'd just like to point out, I got the powerbomb drop from the large Deskiga on the way back in Wasteland. Not sure if
Love to see that.
But...
Beefs with these arcane, esoteric strats. I love it.
Oh, saetzero got it fast. Fortunately, didn't get the missiles off for it. So Beeps, next week we're gonna have our first inclusion of the RBO or low percent categories. We're gonna have RBO, any percent, triple bingo. How ready are you feeling for those categories to start getting into the mix?
I'm definitely gonna veto any percent. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm really looking forward to when low ice is added, though. That's kind of the category I really want to do.
Yeah, unfortunately in the last tournament we didn't get any low percent runs. There was one RBO race we had, but no low percent, so hopefully we see some more of those.
All right, saetzero finishing off Fantoon. Well done. So Beeps, just giving away your whole strategy for next week. Gonna veto any percent and gonna be looking for low percent eyes.
Well, I mean, it's. I mean, I don't hide that I don't like any percent. Let's just put it that way. I'd rather do anything but on any percent.
That's fair. It's a tough category for sure.
And then you have any percent garbage collection, or hundo as people call it. I don't know how I feel about that either.
Dang, I've never heard it called that way.
Well, as saetzero is on his way back from some area that I'm not sure why he was there, not like there's a boss there. But Peeps, do you have any other closing thoughts on the race or tournament in general?
Not really. I think I'm just gonna chill and chat and wait for saetzero to finish.
Sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us on the interview. Good game again on the race. It was a pleasure to watch.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to the rest of your matches. And the rest of the...
Right.
GG Beeps.
All right, saetzero now in the old waiting room, unlocking the door to Torian.
So an interesting wrinkle, Sloaters, for this tournament, in that these Swiss rounds are going to set up a top 16 playoff, and that top 16 playoff does have cash prizes provided by the sponsors Mega Cat Studios and Bowles Guarana.
That is right. We have received a generous prize pool from those sponsors, so it's definitely going to make the playoffs a little more exciting, knowing there's some cash prizes on the line.
It's very neat stuff to see Super Metroid speedrunning grow to the point where you can have sponsors for cash prizes and things like that. It's very interesting to see. But what's really interesting is saetzero committed to finishing this run. It's wonderful to see making his way into Torian and blasting away these Metroids.
Yeah, I like this approach of individually taking them down, at least with the way his health is right now. That's definitely a safe way to do it rather than risk a grouping strategy where you lose a lot of health. Fortunately, he hasn't really got like a ton of super drops, but since he has 100 missiles, there's really no threat of, soft locking on Mother Brain 1 or whatnot. So, as long as his health is at a pretty reasonable level, he should be pretty good here.
Oh wow, the last Metroid room providing all those super drops.
We'll see if he opts to do the baby skip here. If he doesn't want to do it, which it looks like he doesn't want to, he can damage himself down in order to sort of trigger the baby's cutscene a little bit faster after it grabs onto him. So he's kind of just running into this side hopper, drop his HP a bit. Facing left, never looks back.
Never look back, eh, Sloaters?
Never.
No, it always cracks me up. There's so many things in this game and the speedrun community that are so so divisive, I should say, and that's one of them. Whether to face left or right after getting snatched up by the baby Metroid.
It's never a good idea to sulk on your run. You just got to keep your head up, move forward, and eat the 40 frames or whatever it is.
That's 2/3 of a whole second, Sloaters. For a runner of my limited experience, that's the difference between not PBing and not PBing. You know, it's a huge risk.
Well, Super Metroid speedrunners, we're a prideful bunch. We don't like saving the game ever. People get mad at us for it, but you know.
Looks like saetzero here going with the intended strats here, blowing away the Zebatites with missiles. He's certainly got enough ammunition to do so. Alright, saetzero's finished off Mother Brain 1.
Yep, you know the drill by now. 20 charge shots away, and then moving on to that sweet, sweet Mother Brain 3.
Gotta watch these catch-up beams here. Oh! Oh no.
Oh, and just barely not enough health in the reserves to get above 300. And saetzero, unfortunately, is going to forfeit the run. That is a tough break, taking those catch-up hits. They can do a lot of damage and even hit multiple times. But regardless, still, good game from saetzero. Really got to give it to him for staying in it even after the lava dive deaths.
It's really tough. I think I might need to take a break from commentary, Sloaters. I think I'm cursing some of these runners.
Well, I don't know about that, Hockey. I think the people would be a little upset if you did, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do.
No, for sure. It was a brilliant attempt by saetzero to stick with it through the lava dive, and you know, just mount a furious comeback, finishing up the rest of the run. You hate to see it end this way, but I certainly understand. You know, the catch-up beam is just can be so deadly.
Absolutely. But the good news is we're only on week 2 of the Swiss portion. There's going to be 4 more weeks to play. saetzero's going to have plenty of other runs, a lot of other categories probably too, that he'll get to show off.
Absolutely. It's, like you said, still very early in the tournament. There's plenty more Super Metroid multi-category action headed your way.
Well, I'm not sure if we'll get him in here for an interview, but let me take a look at the schedule real quick. It looks like this. Oh no, there's one more match that should be starting right this minute on SpeedGaming 4. P Toil versus Freya Spirit. We'll have Cerberoth on commentary for that. That'll be the last match for tonight. Looks like tomorrow we have a lot of matches starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. 2 of them then, 2 at 7 p.m. Eastern. Even another one at 10 p.m. So a lot more matchups to go through this weekend before we move on to week 3. So make sure keep an eye on that schedule. And we are going to get an interview from saetzero. Welcome in. Good game. Tough break on the lava dives and Mother Brain, but
as long as when you say good game, you mean Super Metroid, because Super Metroid is a good game. You gotta have a good attitude. That's the only thing that's making me not punch my keyboard right now.
Game sake.
Yeah, dude, Beeps, good run. Yeah, like I saw it pop up in the channel. I'm like, 42. I want to beat this guy anyway. If I got everything first try, I don't think I would have beat you. So you deserve the win, sure.
I mean, I guess the run could have been a bit. There's some stuff that happened like in my run, but like I think I did play pretty decently. Other than that, like I messed up lava dive once, but like other than that, I think.
Yeah, I tried to learn the really important tricks, and then I watched a couple runs from a couple different runners of like varying skill, and I'm like, all right, I think I got the idea. And it's like, no, there's things I need to practice. Like I need to practice Red Tower. I need to practice how to actually kill people with the X-ray scope. Like just all sorts of like little nuanced stuff you wouldn't even think about.
You said this is your first run, right?
Yeah, I did like 2 days of practice of what I thought was the important stuff, which apparently didn't mean anything. I was really killing it on lava dive in practice, and then we got to one race, and I was like, "Oh no, oh no!"
Yeah, lava dive.
It's a fun category, though. I actually want to learn it. It's a fun category.
But that's good to hear.
Yeah, it's because
it's kind of like a hybrid between any percent and 100% in a way.
So like in my time learning it and then like actually playing with it a little bit, it felt like any percent without the boss difficulty.
Right. Yeah.
I mean that's awesome. It's trivial. Yeah, because then it's like you're not losing the runs to Ridley, you're not losing runs to Catch a Beam when you're on 4 E-tanks. Like, I mean, or ignore the run I just had, but let's just pretend that didn't happen. But like, if you're just like interested in any percent, but you go, man, the boss is just, I don't like the RNG on Fantoon or Dragon. Like, GT Classic gets all of that out of the way, and it makes it a full category about movement. It feels like.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, there's a lot of really cool strategies you can do with all the kind of equipment you have, like during most of the run. So it really is a cool category. I'm glad to see a lot of people, trying it out like this for the first time in the tournament. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I should have just been like, no, we should do 80% bosses, all bosses. I actually played that casually before this tournament even started. That's a fun category too. If people haven't done that yet, they should.
Keep that in mind because I haven't done it. I just don't like any percent, so.
But all bosses, you get all the DLC for free.
All the DLC, heck yeah!
The deluxe Game of the Year edition, Super Metroid.
You get to go Crocomire with a plasma beam one shot, just walk backwards. It's freaking sweet.
It's a brilliant category. Before I popped in with Sloaters, I just finished up doing who was oh my goodness, it was Nintoaster versus Megu. I can't believe it. I'm looking at it right on my monitor. Oh my goodness. But yeah, they did any percent all bosses. It's a great category.
they're like the category choices they made for this tournament are really cool. I'm glad for a lot of them.
Absolutely.
I feel like the really high-end runners will do like, because like people like me or like lower end, we're never gonna see low percent ice. That's never gonna happen, and that's fine. But like the high-end runners that can actually do all the categories, they might just mix it up, and then it's gonna be really interesting to watch. Like the people that are actually gonna like make it as Swiss and get in the playoffs, like see what categories they play and how they play it. So like this is like a really like this tournament was a great idea. I love it.
Absolutely, definitely echo your sentiments, saetzero. It's been a great ride, and there's still a lot more action coming our way.
And I'm just hoping at some point I stop being so busy with other stuff that I can actually do a little commentary eventually. We'll see.
Oh, we would certainly love to have you. Always nice having.
Well, you gotta get people to stop being cowards and do triple bingo. That's the category I talk to people about.
I'm not surprised we're not seeing a lot of it in the earlier rounds, just because it's kind of, it's not like a normal speed run, so a lot of the higher seeds probably don't want to do it early on. But I think we'll probably see some more of it in the later rounds where it's featured.
Yeah, if there was like a one that was like triple bingo, low percent ice, GT classic, you might see it. But they're like all of them have like a cop out, like no, you can do 80%, no, you can do 100%. People need to try bingo. It's fun. It's super fun, especially since it's bingo and not anti-bingo. Like try bingo. It's really fun.
Right on, right on. A ringing endorsement for triple bingo from saetzero. You heard it here, folks.
I mean, mainly it's more that's my only chance to win.
I think you're going to be seeing a lot of triple bingo next week because of the RBO 20% triple bingo combo.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Veto 20%, and then now you have two good categories.
Yeah, but I'm not going to take the bluff of, I'm going to veto 20%. The other person's like, all right, we're doing RBO. I'm like, I forfeit. I cannot take the risk. It's such a jerk move. What about you, Beefs? What category do you want to play the most out of the selection we have available?
I really want to do low ice.
Why am I racing you? Why are you playing against me? Like you should be. Isn't it like did you win first week?
No.
Man, I'm getting housed right now. I need a consolation bracket with people my skill.
Well, the further we get, we should have theoretically tighter and tighter matchups as people sort of balance within the leaderboards, and the X and O's go against each other, and the lower people on the leaderboards get matched up. So usually the first 2 weeks there's some mismatches that you'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what I was getting into with what I signed up with. The way they did the seeding was intelligent. So, like, I know, like, later on it's going to be better. Like, the matches will be closer. But, like, right now, like, the person I played in the week one and then playing this guy here, it's like, I like doing low percent ice. I can do GT Classic for 42 minutes. Like, it's like, oh, I could just hand you the win, not, like, try to practice for this. But like I'm still having a good time. Anyone that's like looking at this going like, man, I'm just gonna get bodied, you should still join. It's fun. It's fun to, if nothing else, to have a reason to practice other than I want to be better. It does drive you to practice in a different way.
I mean, I'm remembering my first tournament, so it's just like I'm gonna get completely bodied, and I joined anyway, and it was worth. So that's a mood.
Absolutely. You guys both got terrific attitudes towards tournaments. It's, put up some competitive times, but really it's about self-improvement and having a great time.